जय जय श्री चैतन्य जय नित्यानंद, जय द्वैत चंद्र जय गौर भक्त वृंद। जय जय श्री चैतन्य जय नित्यानंद, जय द्वैत चंद्र जय गौर भक्त वृंद। Hare Krishna. Let's continue our Caitanya Pravaha discussions on the Madhyalila of Sri Caitanya-caritamrita. In the previous session of our Caitanya Pravaha course, we have completed Madhyalila up to the 12th chapter, where we saw the nice description of Gundicha margin led by Lord Caitanya Mahaprabhu. And today we will continue with the 13th chapter, which actually describes the Rath Yatra pastime. Very nectarian and very heart-touching descriptions are there in this chapter. So Kaviraj Goswami begins this chapter with a nice shloka. Sajiyat Krishna Chaitanya Shri Rathagrena Nartayah Yenasi Jagatam Chitram Jagannathopi Vishmitah. Even Jagannath also became very astonished. Jagannathopi Vishmitah. He became Vismita by seeing Lord Caitanya Mahaprabhu's dance in front of Rath Yatra. Sajiyat Krishna Chaitanya Shri Rathagre Nanartayah. When Lord Caitanya Mahaprabhu is ecstatically dancing in front of this Jagannath Ratha, Jagannath cart, even Jagannath also got very much astonished. So now, before this Rath Yatra, this popular ceremony called Pandu Vijaya took place. So Lord Caitanya Mahaprabhu and all his devotees, they took bath early in the morning and they came to see this Pandu Vijaya ceremony. So in this ceremony, Lord Jagannath Ji was being brought by all the pujaris to the Ratha. So then they are called Dayitas. So all the devotees who are like drunken elephants, they are so powerful. They manually carried Jagannath from the Simhasan, from the altar to this cart, means Jagannath cart. So some held the Lord's shoulders, and some people held the waist, and some people were holding this, what is that called, pillows and cotton pads. They were cotton pads, were spread out from the altar to the cart, and Jagannath was carried from one pillow-like pad to the next. So like that they were just carrying. And who can carry Lord Jagannath? Here, very wonderfully our Kaviraj Goswami says that Jagannath Ji is the person who carries the entire universe. He maintains the entire universe. Vishwambhara Jagannathe ke chalaite pare apana ichhaya chale karite vihare. So Kaviraj Goswami says that who can carry Jagannath? Who can take Jagannath from one place to another place? Apana ichhaya chale karite vihare. By his own sweet will, by his own personal desire, our Jagannath Ji goes from one place to another place. It is said that Lord Jagannath's cart moves according to his will. Okay. So there were tumultuous sounds made in this ceremony. So one very, very interesting pastime that happened was King Prataparudra personally took a broom with a golden handle and started cleaning the road. He sprinkled this sandalwood scented water on the road and started cleaning that road. Uttama Haya Raja Kare Tuchha Sevan Atayeva Jagannathera Kripara Bhajan. Although he is Uttama Raja, he is the best king, still he is doing his Tuchha Sevan. Actually, in Seva, there is nothing like Tuchha and Ucha. There is nothing like superior and inferior. Everything is service to Krishna. Everything is a heartfelt expression of love of a pure devotee in the service of the Supreme Lord Krishna. But some services are considered more attention attracting and very menial. Some are very menial. Some are like very forefront services. For example, in our devotional circles, we see giving a class or leading a kirtan or dressing the deities. Some of them are like considered very Like at least they are looked up to by people. They attract the attention of people a lot, right? But there are some services. Somebody may be washing pots in the DT kitchen. Somebody may be doing some little background services. So they may not catch public attention so much. But here Lord Caitanya Mahaprabhu was so impressed with this menial service rendered by this Prataprudra Maharaj. Prataprudra Maharaj has already rendered so many services to Lord Caitanya Mahaprabhu, in background. So Prataprudra Maharaj had arranged accommodation for Lord Caitanya Mahaprabhu in Kashi Mishra's house. The residence that Mahaprabhu was staying in Jagannath Puri for such a long time is actually arranged by Prataprudra Maharaj. Okay. And not only that, Prataprudra Maharaj arranges accommodation and prasadam for all the Bengal devotees throughout the monsoon season. So in this way, Prataprudra Maharaj has done so many services to Lord Caitanya. But interestingly, Prataprudra Maharaj has done all these services by being in the position of a king. Okay. But now he has taken the position of a sweeper on the street and he's doing this service. So Prataprudra Maharaj has ordered his servants, you go and arrange all these things to Mahaprabhu. But now Prataprudra Maharaj is personally doing this. And what is a menial service here? This service, this just brooming the floor, anybody can do, right? It doesn't need any expertise. So some services need a lot of expertise, but some services are not specialized sevas. They are such menial sevas that anyone can do, just going into the kitchen and cutting sabji, cutting vegetables for Janmashtami feast, right? Janmashtami, of course, we fast whole day, but in the middle of the night, there is some little prasadam given to everyone, right? Or Nandotsav feast. So cutting sabji. It's a very menial service. Anyone can do that, mostly, right? So some services are very specialized, only some people can do. Some services are menial, anyone can do. So people who are specialized in some sevas may not show much inclination to do these kind of menial services sometimes. But although there are hundreds of sweepers in this kingdom of Prataprudra Maharaj, he personally broomed the floor. That's why seeing this king's menial service, Lord Caitanya Mahaprabhu's heart became melted. He became so happy. And simply by rendering this service, the king received the mercy of the Lord. So unless one receives the Lord's mercy, he cannot understand or even engage in service, devotional service. The seed of bhakti is obtained by the mercy of Guru and Krishna. And when it fructifies and becomes transcendental creeper that reaches the lotus feet of the Lord. So here, Lord Jagannath is very carefully being brought from his throne to the Ratha, and Prataprudra Maharaj has done this menial service. At this stage, Kaviraj Goswami elaborately describes the decorations on this Ratha. Okay, so everyone was astonished to see the Ratha, and it appeared to be newly made of gold. It was as high as Mount Sumeru, and the decorations included bright mirrors and so many charmers and canopy, a beautiful flag. So like that, the Rathas were decorated. There are 3 Rathas, one for Jagannath, one for Subhadra, one for Baladev. So now, so far, Jagannathji was in seclusion for 15 days. That is called Anavasara ceremony. He was with Mahalakshmi and he performed pastimes with her. And with her permission, he is going out for his pleasure pastimes with other devotees on this cart. So now, in this context, let's discuss a little bit about Swakiya and Parakiya Rasa. The Lord enjoys Madhurya Rasa in 2 ways. So his conjugal love in Dwaraka with the married queens is called Swakiya Rasa, and his conjugal pastimes with the gopis of Vrindavan is called Parakiya Rasa, right? And Parakiya is superior to Swakiya, everyone knows. And now, so far, Jagannathji was with Mahalakshmi, enjoying maybe Swakiya Rasa, but now he's going on this Jagannath cart to Gundicha Marjan. So this whole journey of Jagannath is going from Jagannath temple to Gundicha temple is considered Krishna's journey from Kurukshetra to or Kurukshetra Dwaraka to Vrindavan. Okay, so now that we will see little later. So somehow Lord Chaitanya, Lord Jagannath ji was brought onto this Ratha, and all the devotees gathered there. Mahaprabhu, Paramananda Puri, Brahmananda Bharati, Advaitacharya, Nityananda Prabhu, and many other devotees like Sarvabhauma Bhattacharya, Swarup Damodar Goswami, Srivas Thakur. Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu made all these devotees into 4 groups. In each group, there is a lead singer and a lead dancer. In the first group, the lead singer was Swarup Damodar Goswami, and the lead dancer was Advaitacharya. And there are other devotees also who are responding to this singing. Damodar Pandit, then Narayana, then Govinda Datta, Raghav Pandit, and Sri Govindananda. And there is second group with Srivas Thakur as the lead singer and Nityananda Prabhu as the lead dancer. Third group, Mukunda was the lead singer, Haridas Thakur was the lead dancer. Fourth group, Govinda Ghosh was the lead singer, Vakreshwar Pandit was the lead dancer. So like that, Lord Caitanya Mahaprabhu made these devotees into 4 groups. Not only 4, total 7. There are 3 additional groups. There is one group from Kulinagram, there is another group from Shantipur, there is another group from Khanda village. So like that, there are 7 groups, and Lord Caitanya Mahaprabhu is present simultaneously in all 7 groups. Only some confidential devotees could see this. So Lord Caitanya Mahaprabhu has done a miracle. He chanted Hari, Hari and raised his arms and started shouting Jai Jagannath. And he was present in all the 7 groups simultaneously. And all the devotees were thinking that Mahaprabhu is in my group only. Okay. Mahaprabhu is seeing me face to face. I'm not sure whether I discussed it in the previous sessions. So Krishna exhibits his supreme majesty and opulence in reciprocating with the love and affection of his devotees. So I think I discussed it in previous Caitanya Pravaha classes also, that Krishna in just before Brahma Vimohan Lila, he sits in the middle of the circle of so many gopas. There are so many concentric circles and Krishna sits in the middle, and every single gopa, whether he's in front of Krishna or right of Krishna or left side of Krishna or behind Krishna or 10 circles away from Krishna, every single gopa has the experience of seeing Krishna face to face, and they had the experience of having Krishna right in front of them. Gopas would even feed Krishna with their own hands. And also in that pastime where Krishna lifted Govardhan mountain, there also Krishna was lifting Govardhan mountain and facing one side, and all the Vrajavasis on all sides of Krishna, they were seeing only Krishna standing right in front of them. Okay, so like that, Lord Caitanya Mahaprabhu has done a miracle here. He is also present simultaneously in all groups. So Lord Jagannath was pleased by this Sankirtan, and Prataparudra Maharaj was so astonished to see this Sankirtan. So he could understand, by his great fortune, he could understand that Mahaprabhu is there everywhere. So then Prataparudra Maharaj and Sarvabhauma Bhattacharya were both aware of Lord's activities, but no one else could see the tricks of Lord Chaitanya because they got special mercy of the Lord. Yare tara kripa se jani bare pare, kripa vina brahmadika jani bare nare. So whoever receives Lord Chaitanya's mercy, only they can understand his activities. Without his kripa, even Brahma also cannot understand Lord Caitanya Mahaprabhu's activities or Krishna's activities. So Rajara Tuchha Seva Dekhi Prabhura Tushtaman Seita Prasade Paila Rahasya Darshan. So Lord Caitanya Mahaprabhu's mind has become completely satisfied seeing the humble menial service of Prataparudra Maharaj, who was sweeping the street. But Lord Caitanya Mahaprabhu, although he is aware, his Supreme Lord is aware that he has done so many other services, or Prataparudra Maharaj has rendered so many other services before, but this particular menial service of sweeping the floor has really moved Lord Chaitanya's heart. Seita Prasade Paila Rahasya Darshan. So as a reciprocation to his menial service, Lord Caitanya gave this Rahasya Darshan, secret darshan, right? So nobody could understand that, or most people could not understand that Lord Caitanya Mahaprabhu was simultaneously present in all 7 groups, but Prataparudra Maharaj could understand this. Okay, that because of special mercy. So Name Viduhu Saraganaha Prabhavam na Maharshayaha Aham Adirhi Devanam Maharshiyanam cha Sarvashaha means even Devatas cannot understand him. And even great sages cannot understand him. But by Krishna's mercy, devotees can understand him. Saveda dhatuhu padavim parasya duranta viryasya rathanga panehe yo mayaya santataya navritya bhajeta tatpada saroja gandham. Someone who renders unmotivated, uninterrupted service to Krishna without any reservations, without any breaks, and with a favorable intent, such devotees only can understand Krishna. They can understand the unsurpassable glories of Krishna. So he is able to, our Prataparudra Maharaj was able to get this Rahasya Darshan. So far, apparently, we see that Lord Caitanya Mahaprabhu has been indifferent to Prataparudra Maharaj till now. But now, Lord Caitanya Mahaprabhu planned that I must give special mercy to Prataparudra Maharaj during Rath Yatra day. Probably he was waiting till Rath Yatra. And that's why he was impressed with the menial service of our Prataparudra Maharaj, and now he's giving his Rahasya Darshan. So that's the effect of menial service. So now it's not necessary that people have to do only menial services to get the mercy of the Lord. Okay. So some people could be very proud while brooming and mopping and washing utensils also. It's the attitude that matters. Janmaishvarya Shrutashribhir Edha Manamadah Puman Naivarhatya Bhidhatum Vaitvama Kinchana Gocharam. Janma, Aishwarya, Shruta, Shri. These 4 are great material qualifications. If one is intoxicated, if one is so proud of having these 4 possessions, then he is not a qualified candidate to receive Krishna's mercy. But one who is devoid of all these things can feelingly call out to Krishna and he can become a recipient of Krishna's mercy. Okay, but that does not mean those who have high janma cannot become devotees. Okay, one who has high birth is not a devotee. One who has low birth is a devotee. One who has so much wealth means rich people cannot be devotees, poor people are devotees. It's not exactly like that. So although one is doing a attention attracting service, still if that service is done with pure motivations and without any selfish intentions, and as identifying oneself as a servant of Krishna, they will also receive mercy of Krishna. Okay, but if somebody does menial service but has a lot of pride within his heart, then they cannot receive mercy of Krishna. So here the point is not about menial service or some attention attracting service. It is the service attitude. Attitude of service matters more than magnitude of service. Okay, so this Prataparudra Maharaj was sweeping the street. It's such a menial service. His attitude is that I am thinking, he was thinking himself to be a servant of Krishna, not as the king of the whole city. I'm a menial servant of Jagannath. That's the expression there. Otherwise, sometimes a politician also may do jhadu and pocha and do some menial service so that photographers will come and click the photo and then publish the photo, and then he will give the jhadu back and then he will do his activities. Okay, so it's not necessarily like that. He's not doing for a photograph. Okay, he's doing to serve Krishna. So now Mahaprabhu's mind was, he became very much melted. So although the king had been refused an interview, he was indirectly bestowed causeless mercy by this special darshan. Okay, so Lord Chaitanya's activities were exhibited sometimes to reveal him as the personality of Godhead and sometimes to show him as a devotee. Both activities are very mysterious and they are appreciated only by advanced devotees. So Lord Caitanya performed these pastimes for some time. So he was just simultaneously dancing in multiple groups. And now by the function of Leela Shakti. So actually the Lord himself completely forgot himself while doing these pastimes, while simultaneously dancing in multiple groups. He forgot himself. But by his internal potency, the internal potency or Leela Shakti of the Lord knew the Lord's intentions and made all arrangements. Okay. Just like Krishna was absorbed in the mood of being an infant baby in Vrindavan. And all the demon killing pastimes are happening as just a byproduct, right? So Krishna was calling out for Mother Yashoda. Mother Yashoda, I want your milk. Where are you? He was calling. He was sitting under the cart. He was sleeping under the cart. He just got up from his sleep. He was crying for Mother Yashoda's attention. That's all. So while it is very natural for infant babies to throw their hands and legs into the air while crying. So with the gesture of a kick, Krishna threw his hands and legs into the air, and that little tender small foot of Krishna touched this cart and Shakatasura died. So Krishna is just acting like an infant baby only. And when Trinavarta took Krishna 800,000 miles high into the sky, Krishna felt little fearful, as it is common for infant babies. When they're lifted up in the air, they become little fearful. Sometimes they enjoy, sometimes they become fearful also. So they hold on to the elder's fingers or hand or some chest with their tight grip. It's very small. So Krishna was holding on to the neck of Trinavarta very tightly because he felt little fearful. He was appearing like a blue locket in the neck of Trinavarta. But by the grip of Krishna, Trinavarta died. He got choked up. Okay. So Krishna is absorbed in the mood of an infant baby or a small child. That's why he was crying in Damodar Leela. They are all not false tears, they are real tears. Okay. So Krishna is absorbed in his mood as a child in Vrindavan, receiving the love of Rajavasis, and Leela Shakti of Krishna, the pastime potency of Krishna, the energies of Krishna will do the needful, will make all arrangements for the Lord's pastimes. Similarly, Lord Caitanya Mahaprabhu also was absorbed in the mood of a devotee of Krishna. In a while, in some time, we will also see he was absorbed in the mood of Srimati Radharani. And Krishna's Mahaprabhu's Leela Shakti is making all kinds of arrangements here. Leela Veshet Prabhura Nahi Nijanusandhan Ichha Jani Leela Shakti Kare Samadhan. So Leela Shakti understands the Lord's intentions and makes arrangement for Krishna's pastimes. Okay. So just like in the Rasa Leela of Krishna, Krishna expanded into so many forms and danced with all gopis. Similarly, in this Ratha Yatra of Jagannath, Lord Caitanya Mahaprabhu also expanded into so many devotees, so many forms, and he danced with all devotees, right? So then the Lord started dancing, and he was performing wonderful kirtan for some time, and inspired all the devotees also to dance, and many devotees started dancing along with him. So now Lord Caitanya Mahaprabhu was offering prayers. Namo Brahmanya Devaya Go Brahmana Hitaya Cha Jagadhitaya Krishnaya Govindaya Namo Namaha. He's offering obeisances, and then you know the meaning of this shloka, let me not elaborate. Then he also offers some prayers from Mukundamala Stotra. Jayati Jayati Devo Devaki Nandano Sau Jayati Jayati Krishna Vrishnivansha Pradipaha Jayati Jayati Meghashyamala Komalango Jayati Jayati Prithvi Bharanasho Mukundaha. And he also offers prayers from Srimad Bhagavatam, Jayati Jananivaso, like that. And he also offers some prayers from Vidhyapeetha. Naham Vipro na Chanarapater napi Vaishyo na Shudro Naham Varni na Chakrahapater no Vanastho Yatirvan Kintu Prodyan Nikhila Paramananda Purnamritabdher Gopi Bhartuh Padakamalayor Dasa Dasa Anudasa. So the Lord started singing all the scriptural verses, and he was dancing, offering prayers to the Lord. So when Lord Chaitanya danced and jumped high, roaring like thunder, and moving like circle, moving in a circle like a wheel. He appeared like circling firebrand, Alata Chakra. Okay, I gave this example before also. So Alata Chakra means you have this circle of fire. So you are just moving it very fast. So the Alata Chakra, now it has what is it called? That rope has fire only at the end. And when it is moving in a circle, you see fire everywhere, at all points on the circle's boundary. Similarly, Mahaprabhu is moving so fast, it appears that he is everywhere. He need not even manifest multiple forms. In one form only he can move everywhere. He has inconceivable potency, like a firebrand. So then he was rolling, and Nityananda Prabhu and Advaita were trying to protect the Lord, and 3 circles were formed to check the crowds from coming closer to the Lord. The first circle was guided by Nityananda Prabhu. Second circle is formed by Kashishwara, Govinda and others. And third circle formed by Pratapadra Maharaj and his personal servants, like the 3 circles. Okay. So now Srivas Thakur was absorbed in dancing, and then Pratapadra Maharaj was not getting darshan of Lord Caitanya Mahaprabhu. He was unable to see Mahaprabhu's dancing. So, no understanding this, Pratapadra Maharaj's servant Harichandan, he was trying to push Srivas little aside so that Pratapadra Maharaj gets some darshan of Lord Caitanya. Then Srivas Thakur got little irritated, and then he turned back. Who is pushing me every now and then? So he turned back, and then he slapped Harichandan, okay, out of his ecstasy of seeing Mahaprabhu's darshan. Then Harichandan was about to say something. Immediately Pratapadra Maharaj caught him. No, don't say anything. You are so fortunate. He says that Bhagyavana tumi hara hasta sparsha paila. It is hasta sparsha, not slap. Hasta sparsha. Bhagyavana tumi hara hasta sparsha paila. Amara bhagye nahi tumi krithartha haila. You are so fortunate that you got the touch of the hand of a pure devotee. I am not so fortunate like you. So, like that, some very nice, sweet incidents were happening. Then everyone was astonished by the dancing of Lord Caitanya. Even Jagannath ji also became so happy to see him. Then Rath was standing still so that Jagannath ji could witness Lord Chaitanya's dancing. Okay, and Lord Caitanya is moving, Ratha is also moving. It doesn't seem that Mahaprabhu is taking darshan of Jagannath. It seems that Jagannath is taking darshan of Mahaprabhu. Actually, both are same only. Sei Krishna, sei Gaura, sei Krishna, sei Jagannath. All 3 are same. So Mahaprabhu exhibited ecstatic symptoms. The seer and the dancer were one and the same person. But the Lord being one and many at the same time, he was exhibiting variegatedness in his pastimes. So now Mahaprabhu exhibited ecstatic symptoms. He was jumping up and down, and he was exhibiting Ashta Sattvika Bhava, and his body resembled a shimuli tree, silk cotton. Like his hairs were standing on end. There were like thorns coming out. So many other ecstatic symptoms. And Swarupa Damodar Goswami started singing. Seita Parananatha Pai. This is not in Bengali thing. I mean, it doesn't fit in the regular meter. The song refers to Srimati Radharani's meeting with Krishna at Kurukshetra. So Swarupa Damodar Goswami started singing these songs to help Lord Caitanya Mahaprabhu experience the mood of Srimati Radharani. So Mahaprabhu, like while doing his pastimes, either he is trying to fulfill the external reason for his descent, or he is fulfilling the internal reasons for his descent. One of these 2 things are happening. Now Mahaprabhu is focusing on the internal reason more. Okay, he was completely absorbed in the mood of Srimati Radharani when Radharani and all the gopis met Krishna at Kurukshetra. At Kurukshetra, Krishna appeared like a prince. He was surrounded by elephants, horses, and he was wearing crown. He was wearing a royal dress of a prince. But on the other hand, in Vrindavan, Krishna wears a simple dhoti with a peacock feather on top of his head. He was surrounded by cows and calves and monkeys, not horses and elephants. He wears a simple peacock feather and maybe a little turban. But in Dwaraka, Krishna wears this big crown, very opulent. So he doesn't move on chariots in Vrindavan. So Radharani and all the other gopis and Brajavasis in general, they were missing this darshan of of Krishna in Vrindavan. So Jagannath Rath moved very slowly, and Lord Caitanya Mahaprabhu was enacting this song, and Jagannath and Lord Caitanya were moving together. So what is this whole significance of Rath Yatra? Krishna left the gopis in Vrindavan and he went to Dwaraka. And later, he went to Kurukshetra from Dwaraka and he again met Vrajavasis there. So here, the significance of Rath Yatra is that all the gopis of Vrindavan who saw Krishna in the attire of a prince with great majesty and grandeur, they were trying to pull the chariot of Krishna, Balaram and Subhadra to Vrindavan. We are unable to relish your darshan here. You please come to Vrindavan. Okay. So this Jagannath Rath Yatra is like that. In this Rath Yatra, Jagannath is Krishna. Lord Caitanya Mahaprabhu is Srimati Radharani. And Mahaprabhu is leading Jagannath from Puri. Means Puri he represents Dwaraka, which is a place of Aishwarya Lila. So Mahaprabhu's pulling of Jagannath Rath from Puri to Gundicha temple corresponds to Radharani's leading Krishna towards Vrindavan, which is a place of Madhurya Lila. So in this opulent Rath Yatra, Krishna was returning to Vrindavan. And in the role of Radharani, Lord Caitanya was examining whether the Lord Krishna, whether he still remembers Vrajavasis or not. Okay. It's very nice. And Mahaprabhu started singing this beautiful shloka. Yah kaumara harasayeva hivarastayeva chaitrakshapas te chonmilitamalati surabhayah praudha kadambanilah sa chaivamsi tathapi tatra surata vyapara lila vidhau reva rodasi vetasi tarutale chetah samutkanthate yah kaumara harasayeva hivara Tayeva Chaitra Kshapaha. It's a very mystic and confidential shloka spoken by Radharani to Krishna. Radharani says, that very personality who stole my heart in my youth, I'm able to see him now. It's the same moonlit night of Chaitra and the fragrance of Malati. Flowers is coming. Te chon milata malati surabhaya praudha kadambanila. So, but I'm still eager to go back to that Reva Rodasi Vetasi Tarutale. Basically, like Srimati Radharani was remembering her intimate friendship and relationship with Krishna during her childhood days. Now, she again saw Krishna in Kurukshetra and she's desiring that let Krishna come to Vrindavan and then let me associate with Krishna again there. So that's the meaning here. Then she says, Krishna, you are the same Krishna and I am the same Radharani. When I say she says, basically Radharani is speaking to Krishna. But what's happening here? Mahaprabhu is speaking to Jagannath. Okay. You are the same Krishna and the same Radharani. We are meeting again in this way. Okay. But in Kurukshetra, I see crowds of people, elephants, horses, chariots. But in Vrindavan, there were nice flower gardens, humming of bees, chirping of birds. And here in Kurukshetra, you are looking like a royal prince along with warriors. There you appear like a cowhead boy accompanied by a sweet flute. And here there is not even a drop of happiness to me. There is an ocean of happiness. Please come there. I request you to come to Vrindavan. So these are the inner emotions of Srimati Radharani. So Mahaprabhu quotes one shloka from this Srimad Bhagavatam. So he says, Ahuschate nalinana bhapada ravinda yogeshwarair hridya vichintya magadha bodhaihi samsara kopapatito attarana valambam geham jusham api manas yudiyat sadanaha. O Nalinanabha, O lotus navel Lord. So may your lotus feet be also awakened within our hearts. We are engaged in ordinary household affairs. It's basically this shloka was spoken by gopis as if they're aspiring to take darshan of Krishna like philosophers or some regular devotees. But this shloka is spoken in a different mood only. Okay, so now all the gopis are not very happy that Krishna left them. So they are expressing their anger and little kind of sarcasm by glorifying Krishna or praying to Krishna like this. Now Mahaprabhu speaks some very sweet shlokas. Anyera hridaya mana mora mana vrindavana mane vane eka kari jani taha tomar padadvaya karaha yadi udaya tabe tomar purna kripamani. Anyera hridaya mana mora mana vrindavana. So for most people, the mind and heart are one. But my mind is never separated from Vrindavan. So my mind and Vrindavan are one. Okay. So Taha Tomara Padadvaya in Vrindavan, like my mind is already in Vrindavan. And since you like Vrindavan, will you please place your lotus feet again in Vrindavan? Taha Tomara Padadvaya Karaha Yadi Udaya. If at all you have some mercy, please come and keep your lotus feet in Vrindavan again. So my home is Vrindavan. I wish your association there, not in Kurukshetra, right? And I am not very much concerned with yoga and jnana. I am naturally inclined towards you, and all the gopis are not like mystic yogis there, right? We are your devotees, right? So we are your maid servants. So don't expect us to unite with you like yogis in meditation. We want your direct association. Deha smriti nahiyara samsara kupa kahatara taha haite na chahe udhara viharas viraha samudra jale kamati mingala gile gopi gane neha tarapara. Deha smriti nahiyara means for those people who are beyond deha smriti, bodily conception, where is the question of their being like caught up in this blind well of material life? They don't desire liberation. Viraha samudra jale. We gopis are immersed in an ocean of viraha. Viraha means separation. Kama timingala gile. And we are also having this deep desire, which is like timingala fish. We are immersed in the ocean of separation. And we are caught by the Kama Timingala, means the shark, the Timingala fish, which is equivalent to desire to serve Krishna. Gopi Gane Nehe Tara Para. How can we cross over this ocean, my dear Lord? So have you forgotten Vrindavan? Have you forgotten Govardhan? Have you forgotten the banks of Yamuna, the forest where you enjoyed Rasalila with all of us, the gopis? You are a gentleman. And now in the mode of Radharani, Mahaprabhu says, Krishna, you are a gentleman. I am the most unfortunate, right? You are certainly refined. You are vidagdha. You are gentle. You are mrudu. You are endowed with all sadgunas, good qualities. You are well behaved. You are sushila. You are soft hearted. You are snigdha. You are very merciful. You are karuna. You have no faults. But it is my great misfortune that I am unable to see you in Vrindavan, right? But okay, fine. I am unfortunate. You may not have so much of love or affection or concern for me. But at least look at Mother Yashoda's face. Nagani apani dukha dekhi vrajeshwari mukha vraja janer hridaya vidare kiba mara vrajavasi kiba jiya vrajayasi kena jiya dukha sahibare. Nagani apani dukha. If you don't care for my distress, dekhi vrajeshwari mukha. At least look at the face of Mother Yashoda. Vraja janera hridaya vidare. All the hearts of Vrajavasis are breaking because of you. Kiba mara vrajavasi, kiba jiya vrajayasi. I wonder whether you want to kill all of them or what? Or do you want to enliven them by coming here? Why are you simply keeping them alive in the state of suffering? Right? Like Mrgari, the hunter, he would half kill animals and he would enjoy that. Here, see, Lord Caitanya Mahaprabhu is saying that you are not killing us. You are keeping us alive in a state of suffering. So, somebody may say, Dasharatha Maharaj gave up his life in separation from Lord Ramachandra. And if you see, Nanda Maharaj did not die in separation from Krishna. Some people may think that, oh, Dasharatha Maharaj has better Vatsalya for Ram than Nanda Maharaj's Vatsalya for Krishna. No. Actually, living in separation is more difficult than dying in separation. Okay. So, our Dasharatha Maharaj died in separation from Ram. Nanda Maharaj continued to live in separation from Krishna. So, this is higher. Okay. So, Mother Radharani is saying that Krishna, you want to kill all of them, all Vrajavasis? This your new attire doesn't appeal to any of us. Tumi Vrajera Jivana, Vrajar Rajar Pranadhana, Tumi Vrajar Sakala Sampada. Kripardra Tomaramana Asijiyav Vrajajana Vraje Udaya Kara Nijapada. So Tumi Vrajera Jivana, you are the life and soul of Vrindavan. And Vrajaraja Pranadhana, you are also the life of Nanda Maharaj, to be specific. So please be merciful. As the life and soul of Vrindavan, please come back. Now, after hearing such heartfelt, heart-rendering words from Srimati Radharani, Krishna responds. Okay. He says, you don't understand, Radharani. I am also crying, remembering the Vrajavasis. You are expressing your feelings of separation. I am unable to express. That's the only difference. Vrajavasi yata jana mata pita sakha gana sabe haya mora prana sama tara madhya gopi gana sakshata mora jivana tumi mora jivanera jivan. So Vrajavasi yata gana mata pita sakha gana. So my mother, my father, my cowhead boy friends, all are my life and soul. And amongst all the Vrajavasis, gopis are especially very, very dear to me. And amongst all the gopis, you, Srimati Radharani, you are the chief. You are my life of life. I did not forget you. You are the queen of Vrindavan. Radharani is the center of all activities of Vrindavan, right? Actually, Krishna is simply an instrument or simply a decoration for Radharani. It is Radharani who is the supreme in Vrindavan. So he says, Toma sabar prema rase ama keta rila vashin ami tomar adhina kevala Toma sabha chadaya ama turi deshalaya rakhiya che durdaiva prabhala. So Jagannathji or Krishna says that, oh Radharani, I am subservient to your love. Okay. And I am always under your control. Right? Ami tomara adhina kevala. I am always surrendered to you. I am always under your control. So my separation from you and Vrindavan and going to far places is my own misfortune. Right? It's the will of Providence. Who is Providence? Krishna is only Providence. He's saying that by the will of Providence, I am away from you. So now lovers, although they get separated from each other, they live for each other, hoping to meet each other once again. That's why I'm also maintaining my life. Nagane apane dukha vanche priya jana sukha. So now he says that a chaste wife and loving husband desire all welfare for each other in separation and do not care for personal happiness. I'm also like that. Right? I also want to meet you. Actually, I'm always present in Vrindavan through my mind. So, but there is prakata and aprakata. Prakata is visible and manifest, and aprakata is unmanifest. So I will return soon. I have killed some enemies, and I also stayed away from you so that my enemies don't attack you. I'm very far away from you. So I am diverting my enemies towards myself and I'm protecting you from there. Once I kill those enemies, I will come and associate with you. So then please, I will return to you because of your affection. Mai bhakti rihi bhutanam amritatvaya kalpate. So then Sri Caitanya Goswami also could understand all these verses, and then he started singing so many such sweet verses which accompany Lord Caitanya Mahaprabhu's mood. Okay. So Prabhura bhavanurupa swarupera gana yaveyi rasataha kare murtimana. So Sri Caitanya Goswami sings the various songs exactly according to the mood of Lord Caitanya Mahaprabhu. Okay, and there are many such remarkable features of Rath Yatra. So Lord Caitanya looked upon Jagannath's beautiful face, lotus-like face and eyes, and Jagannath was garlanded, dressed nicely with garments and ornaments, and his face was glittering from the sun's rays, and his body was like Mahaprabhu's body was like a mountain. So Lord Caitanya Mahaprabhu was so absorbed in his prema vesha, and he fainted. Mahaprabhu was dancing and he fell down. You know where he fell down? He fell right in front of Prataprudra Maharaj. Okay, this is also another way of showing mercy. And Prataprudra Maharaj immediately picked him up with great respect. But Mahaprabhu just opened his eyes and he saw the king. And he came back to external senses. Oh, how pitiful is it! I have touched a Vishayi. I have touched a king who is interested in mundane affairs. Then Nityananda Prabhu was in great ecstasy and he is somewhere else, and Govinda was elsewhere. Nobody could attend to Mahaprabhu, while this Prataprudra Maharaj could attend to Mahaprabhu, right? And Mahaprabhu showed some external anger, and Prataprudra Maharaj got scared. My God, what happened? Why did I touch Mahaprabhu? He said like this, and what will happen to me in future? Then Sarvabhauma Bhattacharya encouraged Prataprudra Maharaj. He said that don't worry, the Lord is very satisfied with you. So he was teaching his personal associates how to behave with mundane people. Okay, but I am sure Mahaprabhu is very much pleased with you. So he is, when he is neglecting you, he is playing the role of sannyasi, and he is seeing you as a king or a Vishayi. So this is how a sannyasi is supposed to behave with Vishayi. But you both are different. He is not sannyasi, he is the Supreme Lord. And you are not a Vishayi, you are a great devotee. So on that plane, on a spiritual plane, he will definitely reciprocate with you very soon. Don't worry about it. Okay. So now, Lord Caitanya Mahaprabhu circumambulated Jagannath. Right? He went behind Ratha and he started pushing Jagannath Ratha with his head. Right? Then the Ratha started to move with a big rattling noise, and people chanted Hari, 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 like that. Then Ratha stopped at Balagandhi. Okay. Then it is customary that at that place devotees offer food to Lord Jagannathji. Then Lord Caitanya Mahaprabhu wanted to take some rest because he was little exhausted, fatigued after dancing a lot. He entered this Jagannath Vallabh garden as bhoga offering to Jagannathji is going on. So he went there and he sat under a tree, and the whole ambience was filled with cool breezes of the garden. So then Lord Chaitanya's great performance of Sankirtan and dancing in front of Jagannath has been narrated in this way. Has been narrated by Kaviraj Goswami here. So that actually completes this current chapter, 13th chapter. Now 14th chapter continues this incident. So this 13th chapter ended where Mahaprabhu entered Jagannath Vallabh garden and took rest. And 14th chapter will continue from there. Now Prataprudra Maharaj entered the garden, not dressed as a king, but in the dress of a normal Vaishnava. Because Sarvabhauma Bhattacharya gave him that idea. Sarvabhauma Bhattacharya told Prataprudra Maharaj, you should go there and start singing this Gopi Gita. So Prataprudra Maharaj just entered and he recited Gopi Gita. Jayati te adhikam janmana vraja shrayata indira shashvadatrahi daita drisyatam dikshutavaka tvaidhrita savaha tvam vichinvate. So like that he was singing Gopi Gita. And as soon as he came to this beautiful shloka, Tava kathamritam tapta jivanam kavibhirinitam kalmashapaham shravana mangalam shrimadatam bhuvi grananti ye bhurida jana. So the meaning of this shloka is Tava kathamritam tapta jivanam kavibhirinitam kalmashapaham. The narrations of Lord Krishna are the life and soul of all those people who are undergoing so many material miseries. Tapta Jivanam. Kavi Bhirinitam Kalmashapaham. They are narrated by even exalted devotees, and Kalmashapaham, they can completely vanquish all the contamination in this material world. Shravana Mangalam Srimadatam. Whoever hears this, these pastimes of Lord Krishna, Shravana Mangalam, they awaken all good fortune. Right? Srimadatam, these narrations are broadcast all over the world. They're filled with spiritual power. So those who are spreading this message of Krishna or Krishna Katha are the real Bhurida. Bhurida means the most munificent devotees. So as soon as Mahaprabhu heard this beautiful singing of Prataprudra Maharaj, he said, "You are Bhurida, you are Bhurida, you are Bhurida, you are most munificent, you are singing Gopi Gita and enlightening me." Okay. Then finally, and immediately Lord Caitanya Mahaprabhu came forward and then embraced him as if he is embracing a normal Vaishnava. Because Prataprudra Maharaj apparently gave up his dress as a king, and he accepted the clothes of a normal devotee. So Mahaprabhu is just acting as if he doesn't know who is this Prataprudra Maharaj, who is this person. Some Vaishnava is coming and singing Gopi Gita. So Mahaprabhu is pleased with him and then he embraced him. Like apparently it seems that Mahaprabhu is innocently embracing a Vaishnava. Okay, those who know, Mahaprabhu doesn't yet know that he is embracing Prataprudra Maharaj. So he created that kind of feeling, but under this pretext, he has given his complete mercy to our Prataprudra Maharaj. And now Mahaprabhu asked, "Who are you? You have done so much for me by making me drink the nectar of Krishna's pastimes. Tava kathamritam tapta jivanam. You have made me drink this kathamrita, Krishna kathamrita. Who are you?" Now, what should Prataprudra Maharaj say? "I am the king of this province." He didn't say that. So should he lie? "I'm not a king." No, he didn't say I am king. He didn't say I'm not king. He said, "Rajakahi ami tomara dasera nudas bhrityara bhrityakara yehi mora ashan." Oh Lord, ami tomara dasera anudasa. I am the servant of your servants. So bhrityara bhrityakara yehi mora asha. My only aspiration is to become a servant of your servants. Please accept me as the servant of your servant. This is a truthful reply. He did not lie. Okay. So now you see, this is most important. Now you may say that it's diplomacy. Mahaprabhu asked him, "Who are you?" And he should say, "I'm a king. I'm King Prataprudra." He didn't say all that. He said, "I'm Dasanadas." It's not diplomacy. That is the default identity of Prataprudra Maharaj. Prataprudra Maharaj doesn't identify himself as a king. Prataprudra Maharaj identifies himself as a servant of Krishna. That is his natural mood. This morning in our Bhagavatam class also we are discussing Avanti Brahman's pastime. So Avanti Brahman, so far he was identifying himself as an agriculturist and he was accumulating a lot of wealth and maintaining that wealth. He was being miserly. But after realizations, this Avanti Brahman didn't identify himself as a Brahmana or a human being or a great self-realized person, nothing. He is identifying himself as a servant of Krishna only, right? So it's the identity that matters. Nayam janome sukha dukkha hetu, he speaks like this, Bhakti Gita. Anyways, basically, when a person identifies oneself as a servant of Krishna, he is in his original constitutional position. Okay, Prataprudra Maharaj was naturally, he didn't feel that I am a king of this province. He only felt I am a servant. His answer was so truthful, right? To be servant of the Supreme Lord is the greatest achievement and the highest benediction anyone can aspire for. So now this is an undisclosed reciprocation. So Mahaprabhu said, "Oh, you are Dasanadas. I'm very happy." Okay, that's your eternal identity. So Mahaprabhu showed him mercy, and all the devotees praised the good fortune of Prataprudra Maharaj. Now you see, all devotees are very compassionate, sympathetic, and genuinely wishing the welfare of Prataparudra Maharaj. Okay, whenever Prataparudra Maharaj received some mercy from Mahaprabhu, all the devotees encouraged him and they felt so happy. This is the nature of the great devotees. Now, Sarvabhauma Bhattacharya, yesterday I was discussing with children in Children Caitanya Pravaha class. We were discussing this 16th chapter of Madhyalila. So there we were discussing how Ramananda Rai informed Prataparudra Maharaj to meet Lord Caitanya Mahaprabhu at Cuttack. So Mahaprabhu was going to Vrindavan Yatra. On the way he came to Cuttack. Ramananda Rai immediately took the opportunity and he went to Prataparudra Maharaj to inform him. Mahaprabhu is at Cuttack, go and meet him immediately. Right? So Mahaprabhu, then Prataparudra Maharaj came and met Mahaprabhu and then Mahaprabhu embraced him. So now here you see Prataparudra Maharaj received this embrace from Lord Caitanya and all the devotees became so happy. And earlier, all devotees were recommending Mahaprabhu, Prataparudra Maharaj's name to Mahaprabhu. And Sarvabhauma Bhattacharya, he was also giving an idea how Prataparudra Maharaj can meet Lord Caitanya Mahaprabhu. Like that, several Vaishnavas were showing so much of compassion on this Vaishnava, Prataparudra Maharaj. This is how a devotee community has to encourage other devotees. Every devotee has to be encouraged, appreciated, and shown a lot of kindness by everyone else in the devotee community. That's what makes a spiritual community very vibrant and great. So a vibrant spiritual community is one where every devotee has some kind and sympathetic feelings on others and not always thinking about one's own welfare or one's own selfish things. Right? One should show some compassion on others also, as much as possible, as much as is practical. Okay. A pure Vaishnava is never envious of another devotee. Actually, a pure Vaishnava genuinely rejoices, genuinely becomes so happy to see another Vaishnava receiving mercy from the Lord. So the king also sent. Now, king left, and Prataparudra Maharaj. Now, Vaniyanath Rai brought all kinds of prasad, and Lord Caitanya Mahaprabhu accepted lunch with all the devotees, and the king also had sent a lot of prasad, hundreds of items, puri, then creams and dal and sprouts and pickles and manohar laddu. So like that, so many food items were sent, and Mahaprabhu was so satisfied to see practically half the garden filled with prasad. Okay, and it's a very elaborate description of prasadam distribution, where Mahaprabhu sat with all devotees and then ate. And prasadam was distributed even to beggars also. Everyone should get prasad. And Mahaprabhu gives prasad to these beggars, and he would make them chant Hari Bol, like that. So then after this prasadam, Mahaprabhu and all the devotees came out to continue the Rath Yatra. But outside the garden, when it was time for Jagannath Rath to move, the Rath was not moving. So, Lord Caitanya Mahaprabhu went behind the Ratha and pushed the Ratha with his head. 2 times he did that. Earlier also he did, now also he is doing. He pushed the Ratha with his head alone, and Rath started moving. And everybody said, Jai Jagannath, Jai Jagannath. And within no time, the Rath reached Gundicha temple. And in this way, Rath Yatra pastime is completed. And again, Pandu Vijaya happened. So Jagannath ji was taken from Ratha to Gundicha altar, which was very nicely cleaned by Lord Caitanya Mahaprabhu and his team. Okay. So now in the evening, the Lord observed the Arati and he went to Aitota and rested there. And for 9 days, he was around there only. So for 9 days, 9 chief devotees headed by Advaita Acharya invited Lord Caitanya Mahaprabhu to their homes. And during the Chaturmasya, the remaining important devotees also invited him. So like that, every day they would come to Gundicha temple and they perform such nice Sankirtan. And Lord Caitanya Mahaprabhu was totally absorbed in the mood of being Radharani many times, and then he would chant and dance with other devotees. And they all started performing some Vrindavan pastimes near the Gundicha temple. Okay. So in Indradyumna Sarovar, they all would enter and they would form two pairs and they start fighting within water. Some kind of fun, spiritual fun. So Advaitacharya and Nityananda Prabhu, they would fight with each other. Swarupa Damodar Goswami and Vidhyapeetha. Then Murari Gupta versus Vasudeva Datta. Then Srivas Thakur and Gadadhar Pandit. Raghav Pandit and Vakreshwar Pandit. Sarvabhauma Bhattacharya and Ramananda Rai. So like that they would make pairs and then they would start playing with each other. And Mahaprabhu told Gopinath Acharya that see their playful activities, tell them to stop their childish play because they are learned scholars. They are supposed to be very grave and great personalities. Why are they playing like this? So here you see Lord Caitanya Mahaprabhu's Leelas are filled with fun also, not only gravity. So Mahaprabhu is grave, he can be very playful also. Mahaprabhu's devotees are also very grave. At the same time, they can be very joyful and playful. So being a serious devotee and sincere devotee does not mean that we should always be very sober and formal. But we can also have some reasonable spiritual fun, not being frivolous, but some kind of little fun and some jovial and light-hearted talks. They're also bona fide. Okay, we can happily discuss with other devotees. You need not be always grieved like that. Otherwise, people could become unapproachable. Okay, so if one is too serious. So then Gopinath Acharya said, my dear Lord, one drop of the great ocean of your mercy has swelled up upon them. Kripa Mahasindhu, we have a great ocean of compassion, right? And that drop of your mercy can drown great mountains like Sumeru and Mandara also. These two gentlemen like Ramanandra and Sarvabhauma Bhattacharya, they are such great scholars. Of course, Ramanandra has been a devotee always, but Sarvabhauma Bhattacharya has been a very great scholar and Mayavadi. But now he was eating dry oil cakes of logic. You have made him drink the nectar of your transcendental pastimes. Sushkatarka khali khaite janma gelayara tareli lamrita piyao yehi kripa tumara. So like that. And Lord Caitanya Mahaprabhu smiled and called for Advaitacharya. And he made Advaitacharya act like Seshanaga bed. And manifesting his personal potency, Advaita floated on the water and carried Lord Caitanya. So Lord Caitanya Mahaprabhu acted like Seshasai Vishnu. And Advaitacharya became like Seshanaga. Okay, that's another pastime. Like that, Mahaprabhu also enjoyed. Okay, some drama, some dancing, some jokes. These are all quite common. Nothing frivolous, but these are also some spiritual Krishna-centered fun. So then they also enacted some Vrindavan pastimes and all. And they were dancing and chanting. They were having water sports and prasad. For 9 continuous days, Jagannath ji stayed in Gundicha temple. During this period, Lord Caitanya and all his devotees would visit that temple, and then they will also enjoy so many pastimes in Jagannath Vallabh garden. Okay. Next, Hera Panchami festival. Give me just 1 second. Then there is Hera Panchami festival. This Hera Panchami festival is very unique, special. The festival is that Mother Lakshmi comes from this Jagannath temple to Gundicha temple. Okay, it takes place about 5 days after Rath Yatra. So Jagannath ji says that, okay, Lakshmi, I am just going for a tour, and then he would come out and he would not come back again. He would stay in Vrindavan, means Gundicha temple, for a long time. So when he doesn't return in 2-3 days, Lakshmi becomes angry. So she decorates herself so lavishly, and she comes out of the temple along with her maid servants, and she starts beating Jagannath's cart and all her servants start arresting Jagannath's servants, and it's a special festival. Okay, so then Pratapruddra Maharaj has made all arrangements for this Hera Panchami festival, and Lord Caitanya Mahaprabhu arrived at Hera Panchami festival in the morning, along with all his other devotees. Okay, then Lord Caitanya Mahaprabhu, in the context of Hera Panchami festival, Lord Caitanya questioned Swarupa Damodar Goswami just to have some kind of discussion on rasa Vishesha. So he said, although Jagannath enjoys his pastimes at Dwaraka, manifesting his sublime liberality, why does he come to this Vrindavan once in a year? Right? So he pointed out the neighboring gardens. So the gardens are resembling Vrindavan. And when he comes to Vrindavan, well, now here is Gundicha, a replica of Vrindavan. When he comes to Vrindavan, why he does not take Lakshmi with him? Okay, Lakshmi is coming and then beating Jagannath's servant, and she is missing Jagannathji. So Jagannathji could have taken Lakshmi along with him. Why he doesn't take? Then Swarupa Damodar Goswami asked, he replied, my dear Lord, Lakshmi Devi cannot be admitted to pastimes of Vrindavan, where gopis are there. Only gopis can attract the mind of Krishna. Lakshmi cannot. So Lord Chaitanya said, oh, using Rath Yatra as an excuse, Krishna goes there with Subhadra and Baladev, and all the pastimes with gopis that take place in those gardens are very confidential ecstasies. So, okay, he's enjoying there. Why Lakshmi becomes angry then? Then Swarupa Damodar Goswami says that it's the nature of women to get afflicted by love when they find their lovers neglecting them. Okay, as they were discussing like this, Lakshmi Devi's palanquin came there. So Lakshmi Devi was being carried on a palanquin, bedecked with jewels and carried by 4 men, surrounded by so many other people, right? So Lakshmi Devi's maid servants then arrest Jagannath's servants. They become very angry. They take sticks and start beating them. And Lord Chaitanya's associates also saw this pastime being enacted, and they also smiled. Then Swarupa Damodar Goswami said, I have never seen or heard such an egoistic pride like this within the 3 worlds. When a woman is neglected and disappointed out of egoistic pride, she gives up all her ornaments and sits morosely at one place. Right? So there are different ways in which women exhibit their anger on their husbands or lovers. Okay. So now Lord Caitanya Mahaprabhu asked him, okay, please tell me the varieties of egoistic pride. Now here is a sannyasi. He's asking how a woman exhibits her anger on her lover or husband. So that's the proof. The sannyasi is inquiring into all these things. Okay, that's a proof that all the affairs, conjugal affairs between Krishna and the gopis or his consorts are filled with pure spiritual love. These are all enacted on a spiritual plane, not on a mundane plane. Then Swarupa Damodar Goswami describes that there are 3 kinds of women who exhibit mana. Mana means anger upon their lover. One, dhira, sober woman. Okay, she conceals her anger and externally speaks sweet words. She's more tolerant. Okay, and by the pleasing words of the lover, she again comes back to normal. Okay, very simple in her behavior. So then second category is adhira, restless woman. Okay, she chastises the lover with very harsh words and pulls his ear, okay, and binds him with a flower garland. Okay, and the third category is dhira, combination of both. So she is both restless and sober. She jokes with some kind of sarcastic or equivocal words, vakra vakya, or sometimes praises, sometimes blasphemes. She has both types. Okay, there are 3 kinds of people, 3 types of heroines. And he also speaks about 3 types of heroines, Mugdha, then Madhya and Pragalbha, very high topics. So beyond my capacity to narrate all this. So then qualities of Krishna are described. He is Rasika Shekhara, means he is the master of all rasas. He is Rasa Aswadaka. He is the person who tastes all rasas. He is Rasamaya Kalevara. his body is made of rasa, transcendental bliss. So like that, Krishna's characteristics are described. Then later, Gopi's characteristics are also described. So they all had Shuddha Prema, Rasa, Guna, and they are Pravina, means they are extremely expert and experienced in pure loving dealings with Krishna. So in this way, the Gopis are very exalted. And in Gopis also there are two wings, left wing and right wing. The left wing Gopi is always eager to show some anger on Krishna, and she becomes angry when she is defeated. She kind of controls Krishna also. The right wing Gopi, so she speaks suitable words to the hero and is satisfied by his sweet words. She is a little milder. Okay. So now Srimati Radharani is the chief of all Gopis. And Gopi Gana Madhya Sreshta Radha Thakurani, Nirmala Ujjvala Rasa. She is the source of all purified transcendental conjugal mellows. So like that, Lord Caitanya Mahaprabhu, during his discussions with Swarupa Damodar Goswami and many other associates, intimate associates, very close associates, he is describing such esoteric topics about Gopis, Madhurya Rasa, Radharani, and all that. So many such aspects of Radharani are mentioned, and her transcendental ecstasies are also mentioned. So these are all very elevated subject matters. They are described in Govinda Leelamrita and many such books. So as such high quality glorification of Parakiya Rasa is going on, suddenly Srivas Thakur exhibits the mood of Narada Muni and starts describing the opulence of Lakshmi Devi. Oh, they are glorifying Swakiya so much, Parakiya so much, let me glorify some Swakiya also. So then he said, just see how opulent my Lakshmi Devi is. Vrindavan opulence is what? Just some flowers and twigs and some minerals from hills and few peacock feathers and some gunja plant. That's all we find in Vrindavan. But you see Lakshmi Devi, she is so opulent, and she came with so much of decoration and pomp. So like so as Srivas Thakur is saying like this, Lakshmi Devi's maid servants told Jagannath's servants, why did your Jagannath abandon the opulence of Lakshmi for the sake of few leaves and flowers and fruits to see Radharani's garden? So now bring him here before Lakshmi. And Lakshmi Devi's servants arrested Jagannath's servants. And Lakshmi Devi, it's all little, it's just a playful incident. So Lakshmi Devi and Jagannath's servants said that when Lakshmi Devi's servants were beating Jagannath's servants just folded their hands and promised Lakshmi Devi, we will very soon we will bring Jagannathji to your house. Just give us a couple of days. Then Lakshmi is pacified. Then she went back. Okay. So Srivas Thakur, enjoying the mood of Radharani, joked like this by narrating all this. Then Lord Chaitanya told Srivas Thakur, your nature is exactly like Narada Muni, and the Supreme Lord's opulence, Aishwarya, is having direct influence upon you. But Swarupa Damodar Goswami is a pure Vrajavasi. He does not even know what opulence is. He is filled with pure devotional service. So the opulence of Vrindavan is like an ocean. And opulence of Dwaraka and Vaikuntha are not even compared to a drop. Okay. Now Swarupa Damodar Goswami glorifies Vrindavan so much now. Parama Purushottama Swayam Bhagavan Krishna Yahan Dhanitahan Vrindavanadhan. So Krishna is Swayam Bhagavan, and his complete opulences are exhibited only in Vrindavan Dham and nowhere else. Right? Vrindavan Dham is Chintamani Dham, and it has Kalpavruksha, it has Kamadhenu, and Gita Nritya is constantly happening there. And you see, there are gopis, and Krishna is playing his flute. Shriyaha kantaha parama purushaha kalpataravo druma bhumis chinta vani gana mayito yamamritam katha ganam natyam gamanam api vamshi priya sakhi chidanandam jyoti paramapi tadasvadyam api cha. So this is the last sloka in Brahma Samhita, 5th chapter. So Shriyaha kantaha, the Vrajagopis are the supreme goddesses of fortune. Kantaha Parama Purushaha, Krishna is the enjoyer. Then Kalpataravo Dharma, all the trees are wish fulfilling trees. Bhumis Chintamani Ganamai, The land is made of transcendental touchstone. Toyam amritam, water is nectar. Katha ganam, when somebody speaks, it is like singing. Natyam gamanam, when somebody walks, it's like dancing. Vamsi priyasakhi, there in Vrindavan, Krishna's constant companion is the flute. Chidanandam jyotihi paramapi, the effulgence of transcendental bliss is everywhere, and Vrindavan is the only relishable abode. So these are all various glories of Vrindavan. Chintamanischarana bhushana bhushana mangananam shringara pushpataravastarava suranam Vrindavane vrajadhanam nanukamadhenum vrindanti cheti sukha sindhuraho vibhutihi. So Chintamani's Charana Bhushana Anganana. Angana means all the ladies in Vrindavan. They have their Charana Bhushana, means their anklets made of Chintamani stone. Do you find any woman in this world wearing a anklet of Chintamani stone? But Vrajagopis wear like that. Shringara Pushpa Taravaha Surana. The trees are wish-fulfilling trees and they produce flowers with which the gopis decorate themselves, right? So like that, there are so many very beautiful descriptions of Vrindavan in this chapter. So Mahaprabhu becomes so ecstatic. And seeing this whole description and glorification of Vrindavan by Swarupa Damodara Goswami, Srivas Thakur dances in ecstasy. He started slapping his armpits like this and laughed loudly. And he also started dancing. And Mahaprabhu also danced. And in this ecstatic dance, in this ecstatic moment, Mahaprabhu appeared in the form of Radharani. Okay, while dancing like this. Radha Premaveshe Prabhu Haila Sei Murti. He manifested the form of Radharani. And again, he came back to his external senses. And like this, pastimes happened for 8 days. And the next day, Jagannath came out from the temple riding on his Ratha. And then again, Pandavijaya ceremony took place. Jagannath was being carried by all the pujaris of Jagannath, and a bunch of silken ropes broke. And the cotton pads on which he is placed, they also broke due to the weight of Jagannath. Then Lord Caitanya Mahaprabhu told Ramananda Vasu and Satyaraj Khan from Kulinagram to get proper ropes again. So in this way, Lord Caitanya Mahaprabhu enjoyed this whole Rath Yatra festival and some Vrindavan pastimes and Hera Panchami festival post Rath Yatra. Caitanya Gosaira Lila Ananta Apar Sahasravadana Yara Nahi Payapa. So Lord Caitanya Mahaprabhu's Leelas are Ananta, Apara, unlimited. So no one can count them. That completes the 15th chapter. Now let's enter the 16th chapter. I'm sorry, I completed 14th chapter only. This is 15th chapter now. So 15th chapter describes the story of Sarvabhauma Bhattacharya's inviting Lord Caitanya Mahaprabhu to his house. And at that time, Amogha, Sarvabhauma Bhattacharya's son-in-law, criticizes Lord Caitanya. And he gets cholera and Mahaprabhu cures him. That's the subject matter of this chapter. So let's try to discuss this as much as possible. Not sure if I can complete this, but I will discuss some portion at least. So Lord Caitanya Mahaprabhu would daily go to Jagannath Puri temple, and then he would see Upalabhoga offering at the noon, and he would then meet Haridas Thakur at Siddhavakul, and he performs some Nam Sankirtan, and he also chants on his beads. So then Advaitacharya would worship the Lord, and Lord Caitanya would again worship Advaitacharya. This is all happening during the monsoon only. And Advaitacharya sometimes invites Lord Caitanya Mahaprabhu, please come to our house. Okay. And other devotees also invited Lord Caitanya Mahaprabhu for lunch. So like that, Lord Caitanya Mahaprabhu, during this whole monsoon period, he celebrated so many festivals like Janmashtami and all those festivals along with the devotees at Jagannath Puri and also Bengal. So on Janmashtami day, all these devotees would dress themselves like Gopas. Okay. And they would carry pots of milk and yogurt balanced on their shoulders on rods, and they would chant Hari Hari and all. So at that time, Pratapruddra Maharaj was also present with Kashi Mishra and Sarvabhauma Bhattacharya. So as usual, Mahaprabhu danced jubilantly, and Pratapadra Maharaj felt so fortunate to have this darshan of Lord Chaitanya. And Mahaprabhu just takes a rod and then just rotates it like this. Okay, so takes a rod and like a cowherd boy. Okay, so then then followers of Pratapadra Maharaj, they brought some Jagannath's mahacloth, right? Some used mahacloth. So it was wrapped around the head of Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu as if he were a cowherd boy. Okay, so like that they were playing happily. And on Vijayadashami day, all these devotees dressed themselves up like monkeys. Okay, and Mahaprabhu displayed the emotions of Hanumanji, and he took a large tree branch and mounted the walls of Lanka fort and then started dismantling things. So like that they were acting like Hanumanji and other monkeys. Where is that rascal Ravana? He has kidnapped Universal Mother Sita. Now I shall kill him. I will kill his entire family. So like that Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu was happily enjoying with other devotees. So this is Krishna conscious enjoyment. Materialistic people may enjoy while cracking some unnecessary, unmentionable jokes, drinking, dancing, with all sense gratification in the center. But there is a lot of enjoyment even in bhakti yoga also, even while practicing Krishna consciousness also, there is Krishna conscious enjoyment, spiritual enjoyment. Right? You can act like monkey, Hanuman monkey. But people also act like monkeys, doing sense gratification. Okay. But here they are acting like devotee monkeys. Okay. Devotee thieves, cowherd boys. So Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu then bade farewell to all the Bengal devotees. So they stayed for 4 months and they were about to leave. So Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu requested Advaita Acharya, my dear Advaita, you should give Krishna Bhakti even to lowest Chandalas. Chandala Adi Krishna Bhakti Diyodan. Please give Krishna Bhakti to everyone. So Krishna Bhakti is not monopoly of second caste. Krishna Bhakti should be distributed indiscriminately throughout the universe. This is what Mahaprabhu wanted. And Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu then ordered Nityananda Prabhu. So go to Bengal and manifest devotional service there. Anargala Prema Bhakti Kariha Prakashi. Right? You should always manifest Krishna Prema. Okay, you should distribute Krishna Prema. I shall watch you. So Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu told Nityananda Prabhu, Ramadas, Gadadhar Das, and many other people will assist you. You can. I shall come to see you at intervals, right? But I will come to you invisibly, and I shall watch you dance. So Mahaprabhu, although he is staying in Jagannath Puri, he oversees the preaching activities of his devotees at different places in an invisible form. Okay. So then Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu spoke to Srivas Thakur. So Srivas Thakur, please do kirtan every day, right? So, and he also said that this is special prasad for my mother Sachi Devi. Please go and give her. It is my duty to serve her, but somehow I accepted sannyas like a madman in this crazy state of mind. My mother is not offended by her mad son. I'm staying here because of her orders. So, but daily I go to see her lotus feet. She is able to feel my presence, although she does not believe that I have come. So one day Sachimata offered food to Saligram. She offered us rice, vegetables, spinach, and many such items. Then Mahaprabhu went there and he ate all that prasad offered by Mother Sachi. Then Sachi Mata just could not understand what happened, and she saw the dish empty and she wiped her tears because she's always in remembrance of Lord Chaitanya. So she had tears in her eyes. So she wiped her tears and then she saw prasad is not there. Had Balgopal eaten it all? Had there actually been anything on the plate? Or did some animal come here and eat it? So she was thinking like this. And she went to the kitchen and all pots are still filled with rice and vegetables. She wondered and called Ishan, the servant, and had the place cleaned, and then she offered another plate to Gopal. But Mahaprabhu ate this whole thing. So while speaking about Sachimata, Mahaprabhu became quite emotional. He became overwhelmed. So Vihvala. Then he again became a little sober and composed himself. And then he diverted his attention to Raghav Pandit. So even after becoming a sannyasi, Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu's feelings for his mother and his gratitude towards his mother is intact, right? So he never, even after entering the renounced order, a renunciant should have that deep devotion and affection and respect for mother. So Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu spoke to Raghav Pandit, due to your pure love for me, I am obliged to you. Tomara Shuddha Preme Ami Haye Tomara Vasha. Okay. So he appreciated the devotional service of Raghav Pandit. Raghav Pandit is supremely pure and he says, Parama Pavitra Seva Adi Sarvottam. Raghav Pandit performs the best quality service. And specifically, he recounts the coconut episode of Raghav Pandit. Okay. A coconut is sold at so and so rate, and Raghav Pandit gets best quality coconuts from distant places and offers it to the Lord. And once one of his servants just was carrying these coconuts, and about 10 coconuts, they were nicely clipped and brought by a servant and to offer to the deity. Then seeing that servant touched the ceiling above the door and again touched the coconuts with the same hand, Raghav Pandit said, throw them away. He threw them outside the wall, over the wall, and then he brought more coconuts and offered. It's not a cleaning phobia on the part of Raghav Pandit. He was not acting in a crazy manner, okay? But he was absorbed in service to Krishna, and he wanted to offer the most meticulous service to the Lord. And he gets expensive fruits from distant places. And he also makes so many other offerings to the Lord, like pickles and vegetables, then fruits and chipped rice and powdered rice, sweets, cakes, sweet rice, so many things he offers with so much love. And everything that he offers is of very great quality. Okay. So Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu gives his instructions to Sivananda Sen. So please take care of Vasudeva Datta's family. He's so liberal. He spends whatever money he receives, he spends. He doesn't keep any balance. So as a grahastha, as a householder, he's supposed to be saving some money, right? So like every year he brings all my devotees with, every year bring all my devotees with you for this monsoon, Rath Yatra and Gundicha festival. So he told Shivananda Sen like this. So then Lord Chaitanya talks with Kulinagram devotees. Okay, he praises Satyaraj Khan and Gunaraj Khan, and then these devotees Ramananda Vasu and Satyaraj Khan asked Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, "Oh Lord, being a householder and a materialistic man, I don't know the process of advancing in spiritual life. Can you please guide me?" Then Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu said, "Prabhu kahena Krishna seva Vaishnava sevan nirantara kara Krishna nama sankirtan." So he said, you do Krishna seva, you do Vaishnava seva, and you do Nam Sankirtan. Only three things he said: serving Krishna, serving devotees, and chant holy names. Three things. So again, these devotees asked that, how do I recognize a Vaishnava? You are asking me to do Vaishnava seva? Then Mahaprabhu again spoke. Prabhu kahe yara mukhe suniye kabar, Krishna nama seyi pujya sreshta sabakar. So whoever chants the holy name of Krishna even once is worshipable, and he is the topmost human being. Having faith that Krishna's name and Krishna himself are identical, if one chants the holy name, even in a neophyte stage, one has to respect that person. Eka Krishna name kare sarva papa kshaya, navavidha bhakti purna nama haite haya. So Eka Krishna name kare sarva papa kshaya. Even one name of Krishna, if it is chanted offenselessly, can completely relieve us from all sinful reactions. And Navavidha Bhakti Purna Nama Haite Hai, just by chanting the holy name of Krishna once, the 9 processes of devotional service are accomplished. One can complete the 9 processes by chanting the holy names. Diksha, Purascharya vidhi apeksha na kare, jihva sparshe achandala sabare uddhare. Even a chandala is delivered by vibrating the holy name, even without initiation or the rules before initiation. Okay. Offenseless chanting of Hare Krishna Mahamantra is so powerful that it does not depend on any official initiation. Right? Of course, initiation has its role, but one can chant the holy names and get purified at any time. So, like that, he glorifies the holy name in various ways. Anushanga Falekari, Samsare Rakshaya, Chitta Akarshiya Karaya Krishna Premodaya. So by chanting, one dissolves his entanglement in material activities and becomes attracted to Krishna, and his dormant love for Krishna is awakened. So like that, he glorifies the holy name in various ways. And finally, one who chants the holy names is a Vaishnava. Atayeva yara mukhe se eka Krishna nam seita Vaishnava kariha tahara samman. So one who is chanting the Hare Krishna Mahamantra is a Vaishnava, and you should offer him all respects. Right? So Lord Caitanya Mahaprabhu then spoke to these Khanda devotees. He spoke to Mukunda Das. He said, is it that you are the father and your son? Is it that you are the father and your son is Raghunandan, or Raghunandan is your father and you are his son? Lord Caitanya Mahaprabhu asked. Okay. Then Mukunda replied, Raghunandan is my father and I am his son. This is my decision. Okay. Raghunandan offers that food to the Lord. So Lord Caitanya Mahaprabhu confirmed, yes, it is correct. One who awakens devotion to Krishna is certainly Guru. So then he glorifies his devotees. Now you see, very, very important shloka comes here. How Lord Caitanya Mahaprabhu glorifies his devotees. Bhaktera mahima prabhu kahite paya sukha. Bhaktera mahima kahite haya pancha mukha. So while describing the mahima of devotees, Lord Caitanya Mahaprabhu becomes ecstatic. He's so happy. And while describing devotees, describing the greatness of devotees, Lord Caitanya Mahaprabhu glorifies them as if he had 5 mouths. So then he glorifies Mukunda Das. Okay. So one day Mukunda Das saw some peacock feathered fan, and he fainted in ecstasy. Right. So Raghunandan constantly serves Krishna in the temple, and then Mahaprabhu just gives orders to these devotees. First he tells Mukunda, you earn both material and spiritual wealth. Raghunandan, you always serve Krishna in temple. Narahari, you remain here with my devotees. Like that, Mahaprabhu just bids farewell to all these devotees who came from Bengal area, and Mahaprabhu specifically glorifies Murari Gupta. So, and Murari Gupta's attachment to Lord Ramachandra. Murari Gupta was attached to Ramachandra, and Lord Caitanya Mahaprabhu was trying to allure him to worship Krishna. So, but Lord Caitanya Mahaprabhu now glorifies Krishna in front of Murari Gupta. Parama Madhura Gupta Vrajendra Kumar. He says that Krishna is the personification of supreme sweetness. Swayam Bhagavana Krishna Sarvamsi Sarvashrei Vishuddha Nirmala Prema Sarva Rasamai. He says Krishna is the supreme Lord, is the abode of all rasas. Sakala Sadguna Vrinda Ratna Ratnakar Vidagdha Chatura Dhira Rasika Shekhar. These are various qualities of Krishna, his Rasika Shekhar and all that. So Lord Caitanya Mahaprabhu told Murari Gupta to repeatedly worship Krishna. But Murari Gupta was so attached to Ram. So he contemplated whole night. And the next day morning he came and said, my dear Mahaprabhu, I cannot deny your orders. I cannot break your order. But I cannot break my devotion to Ram also. Better I give up my life only. Then Lord Caitanya Mahaprabhu congratulates Murari Gupta and says that this is how a devotee should serve the Lord. Whichever form the devotee may be attached to. The Lord may have unlimited forms and the devotee may be attached to one of those forms. So, but a devotee has to render service to that form of the Lord in this way, with so much of determination and devotion. Ye mata sevakera priti chahi prabhu pai. Prabhu chadai leha pada chadananayai. So in this way, a servant must have love and affection for the Lord's lotus feet. Even if the Lord wants separation, the devotee can never abandon the shelter of the Lord's lotus feet. That's how a devotee should serve. I accept Murari Gupta as my life, and so then Lord Caitanya Mahaprabhu speaks to Vasudeva Datta. I'll conclude with this little section. So then Vasudeva Datta offers prayers that are very deep. Jagata tarite prabhu tomara avatar, mora nivedana eka karaha angikar. Oh Lord, you have incarnated to deliver all conditioned souls. I have one small petition. Can you please respond to that? He said, what is that? Karite samartha tumi havo dayamai. Karite samartha tumi havo dayamai. Tumi manakara tabe anayase hai. If you desire, you can do whatever you like. And you are indeed so merciful. So, my problem is that Jivera dukkha dekhi mora hridaya vidare. Sarva jivera papa prabhu deham mora sire. Seeing people suffering because of their sinful activities, my heart melts. So I want to take all their sinful reactions on my head. Let me suffer perpetually in hellish condition for their sinful reactions, but you liberate them. Okay. To this degree, a devotee is paradukha dukhi. So he can even suffer on behalf of all this personality, all these sinful people, but these devotees cannot see them suffering. They want to suffer on their behalf also. Then Lord Caitanya Mahaprabhu's heart became so soft and tears fell from his eyes seeing this compassion. And he also said that your statement is not at all astonishing because you're an incarnation of Prahlada. So, Tumaro upare Krishna era sampurna prasada. Krishna is so pleased with you. Krishna sei satyagare ye mage bhritya. Bhritya vancha purti vinu nahi anya kritya. So, Krishna doubtlessly grants whatever a pure devotee wants from his master. Because Krishna has no other duty apart from fulfilling his desires, fulfilling devotees' desires. Now, Krishna says, Namam karmani limpanti name karma phale spraha. I have no other karma. Only karma that Krishna has is to fulfill devotees' desires. Right? Tumi yara hitavancha se haila Vaishnav. Vaishnavera papa Krishna dura kare sabha. Because you desire the deliverance of all living entities, Krishna can easily fulfill that desire. So, Vaishnavera Papa, Krishna Dora Kare Sabha. So, whosoever welfare you compassionately desire, immediately becomes a Vaishnava, and Krishna delivers all Vaishnavas from the reactions, from their past sinful reactions. So, because of your honest desire, all living entities within the universe will be delivered, but Krishna does not have to do anything to deliver them. So then he also speaks a lot of things like on the Udumbara tree, there are millions of fruits. If one fruit falls down, what will happen? Similarly, there are millions of universes in this world. If one universe, if all the living entities in one universe get delivered, it doesn't make much difference, right? So in this way, Lord Caitanya Mahaprabhu glorifies the good qualities of all his devotees of Bengal and gives them farewell, and he stays back in Jagannath Puri. And the next half of this chapter is Mahaprabhu's accepting prasad from Sarvabhauma Bhattacharya's house. This we will see in the next session on Monday. So today I could only complete half the chapter. Total 2.5 chapters I could complete. They are very long chapters. Storyline only, but still a lot of nectar is also there. So I'll conclude here. Sri Caitanya-caritamrita ki jai, Srila Prabhupada ki jai.